Hi, welcome to this week's blog post for parents at FBCLA. This week is a huge week for H&M Student Ministries because this weekend we have Disciple Now weekend that's going to be taking place Friday, February 25th through Sunday, February 27th. This weekend is action-packed. We have large group teaching times together where we'll have the whole youth group together. We have small group Bible studies that will be taking place in host homes. We have large group recreation. We have a worship band coming up from Carlsbad. Just lots of things for the students to interact with and just engage with each other, and also just engage in their relationship with God. Why is this weekend so big, or why is it so important, or why we encourage everyone to come, is that God shows up at these big events, much like at camp or Lives Ablaze or any other major event that we do. When we have students that, for this weekend, it's going to be about 36 hours where students will be at the entire event. When they spend that much time in a positive environment where they're challenged to grow in their relationship with God and spend time in God's Word and pray with God, we find that God blesses that immensely and really speaks to the students to where they make a lot of commitments during that weekend. And so we don't take this very lightly at all as just like some normal weekend, but it's a very powerful event when God shows up and does some amazing things in the lives of our students. We've seen it year after year after year. And so I can't express to you how much I would want to encourage you to do everything you can to get your student to come this weekend. It's just, we have a lot of things planned. It's going to be an amazing time, a lot of fun, and so I know that God's going to do some awesome things. If this is your first time with a student going to Disciple Now, then what I'm going to talk about is going to give you some good information. If your student has been there before, this will be a good review. DNOW is going to start on Friday, 5 o'clock in the Rock. We'll have dinner for all the students and leaders at 5 o'clock in the Rock on Friday. The event will end on Sunday after the 10:45 service. And so we'll go to church on Sunday morning at 10:45 a.m. And once that is done, the students are free to go. Also, this is an overnight event. So students will be staying overnight on Friday night. They'll be staying overnight on Saturday night in host homes. That's also where they will be doing their small group Bible studies. Now, something that commonly happens for Disciple Now is occasionally a few students need to leave for parts of the weekend, and that is okay. However, I need parents' permission for students to do that. I cannot have students that are just coming and going as they please throughout the weekend. So when you fill out the registration form, there's a section on there. If you could fill that out as best you can so I can know when or if a student is going to leave, so I don't think that a student is lost somewhere. So that is very important. But also along with that, if a student can't, I just want to tell students if they can't make it for the entire weekend, that's okay. Just come to the part of the weekend that they can make. I still feel it is that important, and that God can still use that time for them. Also, the theme this year is shiny, and we're going to be looking at Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16, where Jesus says that we are the light of the world. And so we'll really be putting a heavy emphasis for students to be a light into their world, wherever that is, here in Los Alamos, but really just challenge them as disciples to live out their faith and let God shine through them. Also, just as far as registration is concerned, for planning purposes, I need your help in registering your students now. A lot of you guys signed up on Sunday, but if you haven't yet, the sooner you can, the better. We got to prep meals, we got to get host homes and small groups ready, and the sooner we have an idea of who's coming and how many are coming, the better we can in planning. Also, the cost is $30 per student. And so one of the things I want to let you know is that we have scholarships available, and I do not under any circumstances want money to be the reason why your student did not come to Disciple Now. So if there is any hesitancy on your part when it comes to finances, please let me know. Shoot me an email, contact the church office. It's not a problem at all. The only thing is I don't have ESP, and so I can't read your brain, and so I need you to let me know one way or the other. If you need help financially, again, it's not a problem. Also, students sometimes ask if they can invite their friends. The answer is yes. And my idea for friends, especially if it's their first time, just invite them. Don't worry about the money. Just tell them to come and hang out and not worry about that as well. So if a student has a friend that doesn't go to another youth group, doesn't go to our church, and just kind of bringing them in for the very first time, then we'll waive that fee as well. Also, the biggest thing probably for each of you is just your prayer. I ask you to pray for your student. I ask you to pray for our leaders. I ask you to pray for the other students that are going to be there. That God would just take this weekend and just do some amazing things, and do some things that would make it one of the best ever Disciple Nows that we've hosted, because God showed up and just did some incredible work in the lives of our students and our leaders. So thank you, and I hope this is a very powerful weekend for you and your students.